all from savings. Before my corporate job, I worked in Revival and Forever 21, Boots. So I've done all of these Bullring. I worked in Bullring.
Yeah. Which you have to, while you're studying, of course.
And that's a great skill as well. Again, you learn people skills.
Yeah.
People skills, how you talk to people is very important. So all of that combined led me to start so early days were quite tough. I was bullied. As soon as you come in year 8, you can imagine you're a newbie in a school where no one knows you, especially you're not from the country. Aston, grew up there, lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my mom, so 2 brothers, myself and just my mom, so a single mother growing us up. I still remember the road, Witton Road, Lane or Witton Road, one of them. Like, you go to one of my apartments in Broad Street, you haven't been, have you? Like,
No.
It's the best building in the whole town. The tallest building and the best building in the whole town. I'll say this proudly. If you go on Google, we've got 4.8 to 5-star reviews. So, yes, we get negative reviews. Of course, we're a business. Of course, we get refunds. We're a daily check-in business.
Yeah.
We got the best building in the whole entire city.
Technically, yeah.
No, technically we have, right? And I'm telling you, I'm saying this with confidence because I went from one apartment which wasn't the greatest, and then I worked this way up to get this deal with the developer. And time traveling and like EasyJet and stuff, right? Emirates is good, but it's like the comfort. You don't have to queue. You have your own security. You go through, like, you don't have to queue up and put your bag with people can't even get the toilet, like, they make stupid mistakes. You're like, bro, your first time traveling. And this sounds really... No, it's just, I'm saying this with respect. It's like when you feel that comfort, if you travel so much, and and they don't believe that it's possible. She doesn't believe it was ever possible to do that, and I helped her feel that comfort.
No, that's amazing. Honestly, I really felt happy for you.
Thank you.
Welcome to today's episode, where we have the pleasure of speaking with Adam Rana, who has flown all the way from Dubai, a seasoned professional with over a decade of experience in the real estate industry. Adam is the CEO of Your Perfect Stay and EP Real Estate, a firm specializing in Dubai. Join us as we delve into Adam's insight on real estate investment, marketing strategies, and leadership in today's dynamic business environment. So please welcome Rana. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Thank you, Nasser. Thank you for having me on your podcast in this cold weather in England.
Oh, tell me about it. It's just gone cold all of a sudden. Literally yesterday I was in a t-shirt and today I'm in a jumper.
But look, I talk about having positive mindset, and you're going to see this in the podcast. It's for me, it's good to enjoy the bads and the good, the rain and the sunshine. So
absolutely, you can't be always in the sunshine.
You can't be always in the sunshine like I am. But yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Not a problem. It's a pleasure having you, sir. We've tried making this happen before, but obviously it was a bit too tight of a time, I think. And you were flying back out, and I was trying to kind of push it in. But anyways, we're here now, right? So my first question to you is going to be about your business journey. Where did you start? Where did you grow up? How did Adam Rana become who Adam Rana is today in Dubai? The big shot.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not a big shot yet. I'm still got a long way to go.
I like that. Yeah.
Got a long way to go.
We're gonna get there.
I've got a long way to go.
Definitely.
So I'll take my story back to my younger days. I grew up in Birmingham, in Aston, actually.
Okay.
So I'll take it a step back before that. Probably you don't know yourself. I'm not actually born here. I'm born in Pakistan. So yeah, so I wanted to keep that a shock for you a little bit.
You gotta what they say, remember your roots.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I moved here when I was 14 years old, and moved here to Aston. So that was a bit of a shock.
Hang on, how can moving from Pakistan to Aston be a shock?
So I'm from it is, because I grew up in Karachi, which is a city. Went to a British school.
Oh, actually,
had a decent life. Had food in the fridge. British school. I was in year 7 when I left. So, it's a big shock to system when you move in secondary school, all your friends. Moving to Aston wasn't, with all respect, wasn't the greatest of the environments. It was rough. There was a lot of things that we didn't get on with. So
what year did you come in?
What year did I go in? Year 8? Year 8, yes.
No, when did you come into
2001.
Oh, you came in 2001?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So 2001, a lot of people didn't know that I moved here. Obviously, I decided to grow myself into the society, grow myself into becoming a person that integrates with the society, whether it's language, whether it's your body language, whether it's your acronym or business or education. But first early days were pretty hard for me, pretty tough, challenging, which is why I think as you hear my story going on is what made me who I am today as a strong person. So early days were quite tough. I was bullied. As soon as you come in year 8, you can imagine you're a newbie in a school where no one knows you, especially you're not from the country. Aston, grew up there, lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my mom. So 2 brothers, myself and just my mom. So a single mother growing us up. I still remember the road, Witton Road, Witton Lane or Witton Road, one of them. Grew up there, a couple of years, school. Then 6th form, just about passed my exam, GCSE, just about passed my GCSE, 6th form, and then just about passed my 6th form A levels. Again, I'll go on to say your grades are not everything, but it has set me to have that structure in my life with having a little bit of good education from a structured system. I'm not a pro of the school system, but it has. It's a bit contradicting. It has given me a bit of a structure to grow up, in my life, into my business life. So 6th form, A-level finished. Then I went to university studying mechanical engineering. Again, not the greatest mind in the world. I'm not the smartest person. I didn't get the best grades to get in university, and just about got my 2-1 in my university mechanical engineering from Aston, which really did set me apart to sit and get into really good jobs. So I ended up working with Jaguar Land Rover, which really changed my game. And this is where I will go in later and say corporate life and corporate jobs is very useful. So if someone's working with PwC, right, if you're not making use of that time and use of the resource they're giving you, or the training, or the people that are around you, the managers or directors have been there for decades, right? That's what taught me where I am today to run this business and this business internationally, not just locally, internationally, because you're not going to come out of school and run an international business.
Exactly.
Correct. So that I walked out with 5 grad jobs, and I ended up taking Jaguar Land Rover's job, which was in Banbury. Sorry, just around there. And then I did, my office was in Whitley.
Gaydon, isn't it?
Gaydon, Banbury, Gaydon. So my office was actually Whitley, so headquarters are Gaydon. So I ended up working there for 9 years, and that was my total journey from age of 8 years, 20 to 28, 8.5 years. I went from a grad in engineering in powertrain, which is making engines, or process engineering. I didn't actually make the engines, I was the grad, so I had a team. Then getting into management, and then getting shifted to China, where I really got my international experience. So I became a consultant as an engineer to go, let's deploy this department, let's deploy this new launch of a new engine. I was in quality engineering with supplier management. So I worked with a lot of suppliers, a lot of stakeholders, a lot of customers, worked in different countries. I traveled around many European countries. All our suppliers in Europe, for BMW, for Jaguar, for Nissan, all are in Europe, most of them, and then you got in China. That was my very in-depth, significant experience. What really made me who I was. I truly believe that, because the training they gave me, they probably spent over 150 grand on just training over 8 years.
Wow.
Like, communication skills, how to talk now. How I speak, it's like, it didn't just come from anywhere. It's experience of time. I speak, it's delivering on board meetings, So, it was that actually, I look back while I'm talking about it now, it's interesting that many people in jobs don't actually see what they have if you're in a decentish job. Even if you work in McDonald's, like, this is a great experience. McDonald's has the best process in the world, right? A lot of people don't know this. They have the best process-driven business in the world, because they make the same burger in Singapore, and they will make the same burger down the road on Chester Road. Yeah. Or in Pakistan, or Chester Road, because the process is. So if you understand how this company has expanded internationally and became one of the world's largest companies, it's because of process. So I've been very process driven as a process engineer, supplier engineering. So I learned a lot from there, skills, business acumen. And then I decided to leave my job when I was 28, so about 9 years ago. Yeah. But I started my business just while I was in the job. So, side hustle, that's what people call it. So I ended up working, trying to do little things. I was selling stuff on eBay. I was trying to sell stuff on, trying to do e-com, but, just random, very small level. Then I wanted to do, property was always there for me.
Yeah.
Just grow up, especially in our environment, people say property is the safest, investment and safest business. So not having so much money, it's all the money that I have made or started with was my own money, from business, from job or from savings. Before my corporate job, I worked in Revival, Forever 21, Boots. So I've done all of these Bullring. I worked in Bullring.
Yeah. Which you have to, while you're studying, of course.
And that's a great skill as well. Again, you learn people skills.
Yeah.
People skills, how you talk to people is very important. So all of that combined led me to start a property Airbnb business. I had one property. I think I bought one real estate property in Smallheath, Tisley. That was my first property in Birmingham, 2-bedroom. But yeah, property management Airbnb business started in 2018, and the rest is history. And I'm running a big business.
This is the Adam Rana that even I didn't know, and I've known you for a few years now.
Yeah, a few years. I kept it quiet.
And you kept it very quiet, very secretive. If you have a secret, just tell him. He's not going to go nowhere. So what inspired you to go into the property business? You thought, okay, I've tried X, Y, and Z. Let me have a crack at this.
Yes.
And you bought the property, right? And why Airbnb?
I think the biggest key factor that stands out for me, and it will always stand out for me until today is the asset. So you own the asset, you have an asset, you're building up for long-term wealth. A lot of people become rich through assets, which is property, right?
Yeah.
Also buying businesses, that's another thing that we're doing now, which is also, it comes with assets. So, inspiration was asset, and the challenge of moving into Airbnb and property management was challenge of running a full-blown business, which was similar to how I was doing corporate job. I was managing stakeholders, I was managing customers, I was managing teams, I was scaling teams, right? In a car factory, right? So I was working as a manager in a car factory. So I wanted to use those skills that I just talked about in day to day. And this is why I've been successful for 9 years plus, nearly a decade, right? Like you said, because I genuinely think it is to do with passion. Yes, half the shit I don't like, right? There's a lot of things like today. I came late to this because I had to go through some employee issues, staff issues.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to.
And I don't like that. I don't like talking to someone and saying, hey, look, what's going on, and they have their own problems and their own family problems and people having money problems, and then they look at my life and they think I'm not having money, issues. Everyone has their issues, right? So the biggest thing was I wanted the challenge of the same thing that was happening in my corporate life, but get a bigger reward. Yeah. So there was the two things, asset, and I wanted the bigger challenge of achievement, sense of achievement. Okay,
that's, and have you reached that goal?
So this is the thing, you never reach you reach the goal, and the goal goes to the second level and the third level and the fourth level. And I did a post the other day on my story, and it said, life is like a game. Yeah. It is a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. I don't know how many levels you want to play. You have to realize life is like a game, and if you're ready to play as a man, you got to play like a game. Right? With obviously how got to have your values, you're going to respect people, you got to have integrity, keep your values intact, but play like a game, because otherwise you're either going to get disheartened or you're going to think, life's ending, but it's not. You can just restart the game. Look, I go through a lot of dramas. One of my businesses didn't do so well. It happened, I opened businesses, closed businesses. You yourself as well, you run businesses. It can be hard, but it's a risk that you're taking to go to the next level. And as a man, I think that's very satisfying to achieve the sense of achievement. It's very satisfactory for me. I have reached a level of sense of achievement. I will talk about it as we go on, as in like materialistically as well. But I think more is like, I want to be on this planet and be like successful as much as I can be.
Yeah.
And this is not to do with money. It's to do with like the feeling inside, like when I wake up. And I'll give you an example to the listeners listening, right? A lot of people want financial time freedom, right?
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah.
I genuinely have that until I think...
That's why you turned up late today, but yeah, go on.
That's a good one.
His watch is different to our watch.
Oh yeah, he's got the watch from Dubai, you see. So he's right. We were early.
You were early.
Yeah, go on.
So one of the things people look for is time freedom, and we want free time, we want to travel, we want to do this. I generally have got that now, right? And sometimes I only realize it when I'm driving on the motorway and think, like, I actually dreamed of this place and I have it. I have that.
Yeah.
It's not having the car. It's not having the car is good. It's not having the house. It's like time freedom.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if I have a business friend who says, let's go tomorrow morning to Paris, we will go. As long as, of course, I don't have kids. And as long as, there's
as
no
long as I
help.
don't have a podcast and kids, of course.
Yeah, because if people are married, it's a bit different, right?
Yes.
I'm talking about. So that's what I say. 100% have achieved.
So many people dream of course, the freedom of time and, of course, the financial freedom through property, right? Or any kind of business. What mindset shifts are necessary to make that into a reality?
I think the biggest mindset shift you need to do, or anyone that's listening to this, is willing to lose every other day, basically. So if you're willing to lose, especially when you start the business, so I'll give you an example. If you're willing to lose and you're picking the phone up and you're not signing up any clients for 25 days, for 30 days, that is part of business. So the mindset shift has to be, when in a corporate job, you have things set out, you have your hierarchy, you have your stakeholders, they've been doing business for decades, and then you have clients, you have reputation, whereas in a new business, you're not going to have that reputation. So resilience and willing to lose is the biggest key factor to success, or at least getting to the next level. And there's different levels that you got to go through.
What was your biggest loss, if you want me, if I can ask you that?
100%, I'm very transparent. Biggest loss was where I made the money and then lost it.
How much?
Quite a lot.
How much?
Over six figures, yeah. Over within 6 months, yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, and I can and people. This is part of business, right? It's easier to make the money than to sustain it. 100%.
So how did you feel when you lost? Well, okay. How did you feel when you made that money, and how did you feel when you lost that money, and why did you lose that money?
So how did I feel when I lost the money? Is pretty simple answer, obviously very obvious. Didn't feel very good. Thing is, when you're in business, if you don't keep track of your KPIs, your key performance indicators, you don't keep track of your processes and your management, and the management is not keeping track of your team, and the quality basically comes from that. You can lose money very quickly.
What's a key element to lose money?
What is the key element? Key performance in the KPIs. So if you're not measuring your performance, I'm not saying measure your performance every 6 months or end of year accounts. You got to measure your performance depending on your business. If it's a daily customer facing business, you should be looking at it weekly. You should be looking at it monthly, at least, your management accounts. You'd be surprised a lot of people don't do that in a small business, as you probably know, right? So I was one of them. I'm very open. Like, we didn't, it was me, and I'm the only director in the company. I had a good life. I was young. I was traveling. I was in Southeast Asia. I was in Dubai. This is 4 years ago, right? Just before COVID, and even after COVID, actually. So yeah, key performance indicators to make sure you have. When I say key performance indicators, like if you're making burgers, your chicken, is it cooked to the right temperature? If it's not, your business is going to go bust very quickly. Yeah. Correct? So that's your key performance indicator. I'm in a hotel apartment business. My apartments are clean to the standard of the guest needs it. If it's not, we're going to have a lot of refund complaints and cancellations, and that means you don't make any money, and then you start losing money.
So on that note, have you, in the past 6 months, for example, have you had any refunds or unsatisfied customers? I'm not saying that, but just as a reality. Because a lot of people think, I'm going to get an apartment, I want to do this, and I want to make money.
Yeah. In 90% of the time it is like this if you do things correctly. So the caveat here is you got to make sure when you get an apartment or buy an apartment, you have the right education, right? If you have the right education, how to furnish an apartment, everyone thinks they can do it, but you can buy an apartment, you have the money, but furnishing it to a right standard for an Airbnb standard or for a hotel apartment standard, it's very different for you to furnish it for your tenant down the road. Very different for a family of 3 with a dog. Okay. It's very different, right? If that's the difference where I would make money and you wouldn't if you just furnished it as a normal furnishing. Oh. So I would make sure that it's the person who buys an apartment or rents an apartment for Airbnb property management, he has it furnished to the right standard, the right quantity of items, making sure like stuff like Like you go to one of my apartments in Broad Street, you haven't been, have you? Like,
No.
you know, it's the best building in the whole town. The tallest building and the best building in the whole town. I'll say this proudly. If you go on Google, we've got 4.8 to 5-star reviews. So yes, we get negative reviews. Of course, we're a business. Of course, we get refunds. We're a daily check-in business.
Yeah.
We got the best building in the whole entire city.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
No, technically we have, right? And I'm telling you
Okay, fair
and I'm saying this with confidence because I went from one apartment which wasn't the greatest, and then I worked this way up to get this deal with the developer, and happens to be the best building because I have good relationship skill, good stakeholder management skills, and I have education of how to do things. But I've done things for a very long time to be able to manage this type of building, this level of building. Clients are paying anyone from $3,500 to $4,000 a month to stay in Birmingham.
Wow.
That's the level of service we're providing. It's we have a front desk. It's like a hotel, right? We'll invite you to come down, but it's the standard of quality which keeps us to the level with a random landlord starting one property. You can't compete with us because it's a
different level of.
So that's what I try to create, and that's why I think I will stay successful, because I'll keep doing that. To manage it, to sustain it, it's people now. It's making sure that people are doing the process that was set.
So how do you keep an eye on everyone? Because obviously you're in Dubai as well now. And then again, how important is it to invest in the right people?
Very important. That's one of the reasons I lost a lot of money. As I said, there's 2 occasions I lost money. One is COVID. A lot of people did. And then one after that, right? Because if you don't have the right management or the right supervision, that's where you will lose money, right? So I decided to save a lot of money by not hiring the right managers or not paying someone the high salary, which was the biggest learning lesson for me ever. Like I will put my life savings to hire the right person now.
Really?
Then, because I lost more money than I could hire. So I lost what a salary of a good site manager or a building management, 60 grand, 50, even less, 50 grand a year. I lost 6 figures, way more than 6 figures, right? I could have hired that one person with the right skills, put him on bonuses and profit share where he would have managed all of this, and I would have still been able to travel and have more fun. So hiring right people is the greatest skill that I'm still trying to develop.
So moving to the property market from UK to Dubai, right? How do property investment opportunities differ between Dubai and the UK?
So how does the property market? So Dubai market is very fast paced.
Yeah.
Moves very fast. There's a launch of a property off plan today of a new building from a developer. It will potentially get sold out within a couple of days or couple of hours if it's a big. Yeah. So there's a developer called Emar, which is one of the biggest developers. They have one of the biggest launches happening next week. They've closed registration for it, so you can't even put a deposit down anymore.
Serious?
Yeah, and it's true. Like literally, I was just talking to one of my clients. So if anyone's looking to buy a property in Dubai, yes, with the right developer, with the right education, again, you can find very good deals at very fast pace. Yes, there's hundreds of deals out there in Dubai. There's hundreds of buildings that get built, which will still be available, but because they're not in so much demand. So that's the biggest difference. UK is a bit slower. Your transfer takes 6 months to 8 months here. Your transfer takes between 2 days to 8 days if you want it to get it done in Dubai. That's a big difference.
From 6 months to 8 days?
No, so 6 months in the UK.
In the UK, from that to
2 to 8 days or maximum 20 days if you want. You can do a transfer of a house, seller and buyer. That's how quick it is. All digital, It's very quick, all secure and safe. So that's the difference. So the market moves really fast. Hence, the money moves really fast. Hence, people make more money, right? The ROIs on average are above, like most of my properties are 8-9%. Airbnb 12%, 11%. Most of my clients are making 8-9% above. Airbnb again, 11% plus. So compare that to UK, on a traditional buy-to-let, you're looking at London 3%, 4%, Birmingham maybe 5%.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's double, triple.
Yeah, double, right? Again, I'm here to give advice of make sure you buy the right developer, make sure you're in the right location, make sure you have the right advice from the brokerage or the property company that helps you buy this. That's very important because there's loads of properties in Dubai, but you got to buy the right one.
Yeah, but see, that's what are the misconceptions, the biggest misconceptions people have about investing in Dubai?
The biggest misconception people have is it safe, right? 99% of the time it's safe. 99% of the time it's safe. 1% of the time it's not. 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 1% of the one of the things is it's safe because it's international. It is one of the safest industries, countries in the world, because it's all digital. It's all ID tracked. It has an escrow account now, so if you're investing in an off plan, it goes through a government escrow, and it gets released as a building gets built. So that makes it much securer and safer for you to give your money
so
than the developer.
So, for example, if I was buying something off plan, it would go to like a holding thing, right? Entity, and until that's built
at a 20%, 15%,
and they will
30%,
just release it as and when they need it.
Yeah.
And if something happens, you
can get a refund, or you can get your money back. So it's very safe. A lot of thing is, can you own a property in Dubai? But freehold, yes, you can now. Before it wasn't like this. So for over 15 years now, 20 years, that you can actually own the full rights of the property, 100%. So you have full freehold ownership. So that's another misconception people had. So understanding the difference in England to Dubai is mostly that your money works more for you. That's the biggest thing, the takeaway I would say give here.
Are there any risks of buying properties? Like, for example, do people overlook any risks when they're investing in Dubai?
So the word risk, of course, risk is you crossing the road. There's a massive risk, right?
Yeah.
You can get hit by a bus, right? So there is risk in any property, but what you do is mitigate the risk, just like we run businesses. So you understand. First of all, you get a good broker in any market.
How do you identify a good broker though? Because everybody says we're the best.
Yeah, so you ask the right questions. So sometimes the person may not know how to ask the right questions. It's to look at the broker where he's educating you rather than telling you what to buy.
Right. Okay.
So if he's educating you, saying that's the way I'm educating you right now, saying, hey, these are the pros, these are the benefits of Dubai, this is what you get. And if this is the area, this is the location, this is the returns you will get, rather than this is the developer, buy this because this is going to make you more money. No, it's not about the education of you understanding the market and then you go buy, or understanding the location rather, and then you buy. So ask the questions where you get educated, and if they're able to educate you as a student, then
that's a marker.
That's a marker, right? Of course, it's like me coming to your business and saying, hey, what's the difference between the lemon herb chicken and a hot chicken, right? You'll be able to tell me spicier, this is what it is, and then I'll be like, okay, cool, this is why I will eat this one.
Yeah.
So it's that thinking.
Oh, right. And in your terms, in your thought, what's the, or should I say, where's the next big property boom? And why? So
it's not about property booms, it's more about, right, where is the market heading in terms of growth, right? So it's not just boom, because booms are like, if you have a boom, and it can bust as well, right? So you're looking at like Dubai, for example, the markets of the government plan, the vision for the leadership of Dubai is to increase the population from where it is today, 3 million, 3.6 to above 7 to 8 million in the next 10 years. The 2033 plan, the vision of the sheikhs is to bring in the rest of the world to be attracted to Dubai, right? What's that going to do when you have 8 million people? More housing, right? You need more housing, more offices, more parks, more cinemas, more malls, right? So hence it drives the infrastructure to improve and investments to come in for infrastructure to go up. So that's where I see, quote unquote, your boom is where it's going to happen, because more people are moving, more money is leaving the European society, the more money is leaving the American society because of various reasons, the political changes, the tax changes, and that's where you're going to see the biggest increase in your wealth, because you're moving your money to a place where it's more secure.
What do you think of Saudi now? Because there's a lot of
hype.
There's everything's happening.
So I'm 35 years old, right? So for me and my circle and my investors and my high net worth individuals I'm around are mostly like either my age or within 15 years to my age, right? Look, depends on your goal, right? For my goal is, look, man, I'm not waiting 20 years when I'm old and to have that freedom again. I want it in the 5 years or the 6 years when I have my kids, my wife. Yeah. So Saudi is a long-term play. Right, if you want it for your kids, I think it's very good. Long-term play, you can make a lot of money there, where Dubai was 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So if you want, it's a very good play. If you're a business, probably a quicker play, I think, because businesses are getting to expand. If you're a business, opening up or Pepe's in Saudi could be a very good jump because it's a business, a daily operation. Whereas real estate, where I'm an expert on, I think it's a 15 to 20 year play.
Is it?
Yeah, compared to Dubai, because Dubai is what is happening. Guys who don't know this, right? Dubai is keeping up pace very quickly. They're building the next tallest tower again. They just released another tower next to the Burj Khalifa. As I said, the 3.5 million to 8 million population increase. If you Google this, there's an exact
plan. I don't
plan.
think that's going to happen with buildings. I think they need more men in there.
No. So people are moving there. So the plan behind it is creating more jobs. How do you create more
Bring
jobs?
more people in, yeah.
Getting me and you to come and set up businesses there. So how do you do that? You make them, give them incentives. Make getting visas easier. So now a freelancer and a freelance influencer can get a resident visa.
To say that, yeah,
a resident
we were
visa.
looking into that, weren't we?
So why have they done that? So you move there, you bring your money there, you make money there, and then you keep the money there, and then you buy a property, and then the property price go up, right? Yeah. So you're bringing money into the system.
We were looking into that creators visa.
Yeah.
I think everything.
Well, I'll help you with that. That's what I do for a living. Literally, this is how I have so much understanding.
Fantastic. See, book our ticket. He can provide us accommodation and ticket and the visas. What more do we need?
Of course.
Oh, he's got them as well. Okay, Airbnb and residential property strategies, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on to that. Oh, before we move on to that.
Recording, yeah.
Before we move on to that, my question was, if it wasn't for Dubai, where would you invest?
Miami.
Really?
Yeah, so it's many people don't look into this, but I travel to Miami a lot and I think it's a very energetic market. It is actually quite high at the moment. They say it's on a bubble index, quite high compared to any other country or any other city. But Miami, for me, individually, is where most of America is moving to south of US, South Florida, where all the wealth is moving. It's like a mini Dubai. Right?
Oh wow!
Prices are skyrocketing. They're building. You go there, everything is just getting built like Dubai. There's cranes everywhere. Yeah, people are happy. Energy is good. All your social media influencers who are making money are moving there. For example, businessmen retire there.
Yeah.
So not just Miami, just outskirts of Miami as well.
Yeah, there's still in Florida.
So that's me, right? Otherwise, there's 190 something countries in the world you can invest anywhere.
So moving on to Airbnb and residential property strategies. What makes a good property truly stand out as a high yield Airbnb rental?
There's many factors what makes it stand out, but again, going back to quality. So if your pictures are great, because your advertising is like selling a car. If your car doesn't look good in pictures, you're not going to be able to sell your car. So if you have, like food, McDonald's, when they take a picture of the food, it looks different to how it's, so it's a picture. So getting the pictures right is very important. How you get the pictures right, you get the furniture, the decor, the interior design of the property to a level where the appeal of that property is much better than your next door neighbor or your competitor. So that's what we focus on. That's what gives you the highest return and yield, because in turn you get more clicks, in turn you get more bookings, and in turn you make more revenue.
And how do you optimize short-term rentals to ensure consistent bookings?
Correct. Yeah.
And premium rates?
So we use a lot of AI tools, and we use a lot of software tools on so we have a big back office. So it's not just a front desk. We have a lot of revenue management. So essentially what you see on booking.com, it's been managed at the back end, not just for optimization of the listing, the description, not just the pictures, but the actual rates. So the rates are very different on the 15th of June to the January the 15th. It's very different. Mm-hmm. It's measured, it's managed through a revenue manager, which is in-house within our company, who uses a software which looks at seasonal market, we looks at hotel, compares prices, AI technology. So there's a lot of revenue management that goes behind before you see the price.
Oh, okay.
Also, like if you go on booking.com now, just search Birmingham, you'll see, there's promotions, there's so we can pay for promotions to, it's like I think they do that in delivery, like sponsored.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that go at back end that I'm really keen on. I'm an expert in revenue management, so I help my students and stuff. So There's tools, but you got to manage it every day from as a manager or someone.
We're going to come to the mentorship that you've just started doing anyway, because I follow you quite a lot on socials. But in today's market, is it better to focus on short-term rentals, which are the Airbnb, or long-term residential investments?
I think the answer to that is, again, it all depends on your property or your investment, where your property is. If you're looking as an investor, if your property is in Worcester, for example, it's not going to be as good as if it's in central London and in Mayfair, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, if you're in Mayfair, hey, put it on short let, you're going to make a lot of money, right? If you're in Worcester, in a small town, probably better off getting a consistent income for monthly from a consistent family tenant. So that's the first category. So please, anyone listening to this, go think about where your property is and what your property is like. Is it brand new? Has it got good access? It's got parking. So that's what's your neighbors like? Is it a family community area? Probably not the best thing to do Airbnb there, because communities don't want to be disturbed, right? That's why apartments work much better, because they're not communities, they're just single apartment. You never see your neighbor. So depending on that, it's dependent on that basically, so short term and long term. And the second thing is how many bedrooms. So I would say like 2 bed, 3 beds are much better performing. If you just got 1 bed, yes, in city centre it works, but anything outside city centre is difficult.
For argument's sake, I bought a property now, right? It's near the airport here, Birmingham, and I've actually bought it, and I was thinking about it. What would you advise me to do with it? It's a 3 bed, semi-detached, all what you say has got garage, driveway, all garden, everything. What would you advise? Airbnb, because it's close to the airport and NEC and all of that, or a long term because it's in a like a community-ish area as well? So
the issue in the UK is a lot of neighbours complain if it's in a community-ish area. However, I know what you're talking about. The airport side is actually works decently well in Birmingham. There's a lot of contractors, so workers, NEC, like you mentioned, a lot of airport people, like travellers. There's a lot of contractors around that area that stay in those areas. They don't stay in city centres. So it's actually a good market to do houses in the NEC side. It's actually proven, because I have a lot of business partners who do it. So, but the challenge you're going to face is neighbours. It's the neighbours and the quality of your house. If it's in a good. Oh,
it's fully done out. I've just literally took everything out, brand spanking new.
And you furnished it?
The whole lot.
Okay, so I think you should try doing Airbnb on it.
I'm going to live in it for a couple of years.
Yeah, okay. If
then I'm going to come and see you in Dubai and move over there and then...
Yeah, I think it will work, because people make a lot of money on these houses near NEC.
Yeah, because of the whole events and all of that stuff as well.
It's not, so you don't want to target, this is where the key is, guys who are listening about Airbnb. You don't want to just target events. You want to look for monthly bookings, because you're not getting the monthly rent, you're getting double the monthly rent. But if you're getting a monthly booking, the person's staying for a month. Now you'll ask me, who stays for a month? There's a lot of contracts, there's a lot of building work that's going on here. We have people staying for 6 months paying monthly, but they're not paying your normal £1,000 rent, they're paying $2.5 grand.
Really?
Yeah, because the companies the companies are paying for it, or insurance companies paying. Could be an insurance claim. You probably can get a lot of insurance claim families moving out for 6 months because the house is getting rebuilt or it's been flooded, and we get a lot of that. You'd be surprised. So there's a lot of opportunities.
I think my wife's going to move out at this rate. But okay. Yeah. So it's not just the residential or your standard
tourist. It's not just tourist.
Tourist or families moving in. It could be insurance companies. It could be corporates taking the house.
Contractors, builders, the workers, where they're going to stay.
The HS2 is just there, because where it is, it's literally 2 minutes away from the airport. Literally 2 minutes.
And they will have, like, I'll give you an example, like these houses, you could have 3 different contractors, 3 different guys staying in 3 different rooms, paying £50 each. So that's £150 a night. You don't want to get that in town. So you get £150 a night for a whole month. They probably stay for 4 months. Do the maths.
I'll let my wife do the maths and let her decide is it beneficial for us to stay there or for someone else to stay in my house. Well, this is interesting because I didn't think of it like that, And that's what I wanted to talk to somebody like yourself and just kind of get a better side of it. Because my plan is, like, after a couple of years, 3 years, move out to a different country. Maybe I'm looking potentially probably Dubai or Oman. So we're just kind of looking somewhere in the Middle East or whatever. But then again, you need to have that plan of what you're going to do with your stuff here, right? These things take time. Obviously, you moved out to Dubai. Now coming to that and scaling your business into Dubai, how difficult was that?
Again, I don't like to use the word difficult. It's challenging. So I moved out about 6 years ago. The businesses during the COVID time was my biggest move that actually happened because I lost a lot of money here. So I had no option just to move and start something. There was lockdown here. So I wanted to make sure I grow the business in Dubai while there was lockdown here when we're not making any money. That was one of the other periods. I lost a lot of money, right? And I used the opportunity of Dubai being open to really grow my business, which is exactly the same as the Airbnb business here. Copy and paste, take it there and grow it. While the rest of the world was sleeping, I decided to take the opportunity, and that's when I made my biggest money. My biggest earnings was in 2021 ever in my entire career, right? Because the world opened and just woke up and just spent money, right? You remember that?
Decided to go to Dubai. Yeah,
everyone decided to go to Dubai.
Everyone was like, let's go to Dubai. And Rana's like, I'm here. Here's my houses, take it.
I think we were training in just after COVID in the gym. And then I was like, I'm going to buy.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then I went for full time. And, so the challenge was setting up the company. Knowing the right people. Like here, you already know the people, you've grown up with them, right? And it can be very daunting for a newbie, even if you're a businessman, to say, hey, who I'm going to talk to for tax or for setting up a company, for account, little things like that. But look, my advice to that is talk to people. Like I'm a very, outgoing person.
You're a very sociable person.
So I will just come and say hi to you. I'm sitting in a bar or in a wherever restaurant. We go to a restaurant in Dubai. People are very happy. They want to talk to you. Go to networking clubs. So I spoke to loads of people. That's what I did. Literally, there's a lot of big British community in the UK, in Dubai. So it made it much easier. I'm like, oh, you're from Birmingham. Oh, nice to meet you. Literally doing this has expanded my life and my business and made me more money. Shaking hands can take you far. Yeah, we might have to shake 200 hands, but that 2 or 3 will connect you to the right person who will help you. Say, hey, go talk to this guy. Oh, he's done Airbnb. Speak to him. This is there's a council called DTCM, like they look after the regulatory framework, like around short-term lets. I didn't know nothing about that, but I had to learn from another guy who's already doing the business. This is 6 years ago. So, knowing the right people was the biggest challenge, but then I just went out and said hi to everyone as I can. I say, I don't know what type of listeners you got, but if you're a guy who's dating, right, it's like that. You're not going to just say, hey, I'm just going to gonna find one girl and she's going to come to me. She's not going to come to you, bro.
Yeah.
You got to go out and meet quite a few to have the most successful chance of winning and getting the best girl in the world, right? True?
I don't know. I had one and I was happy. I was like, wicked.
So,
Found it. Sounds like you're talking from experience.
So
nevertheless.
It's no idea what you're talking about, bro.
It's the same thing like dating, right? Sales is like dating. You have to go through. You have to talk to a lot of people, and as a man, you have to, grow up getting rejected. So it's in Dubai as well, there's a lot of rejection in work and business. So I worked hard, went through meeting a lot of people who connected me to the right things, and then I just did the work. Basically. So essentially, when you do the work, results come.
Did you ever think that, oh shit, what have I done? Like, have I made a mistake, or was this a bit of too much of a bold move, or can I go back, or what did you think at the start?
Yeah, so I'm one of the biggest risk takers you're probably going to meet in your life. I like to take a lot of risk. Yeah, it was a very bold move. I wasn't making money in the UK when I actually left, physically left. And I said, okay, cool, I have this much of saving. I did some analysis and did some calculations. I have this much saving. If it doesn't work for 6, 7, 8 months, I'll have to go back. But I teach my guys in sales in my team, again, goes back to rejection. Rejection is just one closer to an approval, right, to getting accepted. So I'm like, look, I just got to give it all. If I was going to die tomorrow, I would work harder, right? So yes, I was scared, but I don't think I was that scared because I just thought it was going to work in the end because it's a proven model. I've done it before. So I'm a bit weird like that, and I think you have to be a bit weird to like win. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to make it happen.
Do you have to be weird in Dubai to win?
Not in Dubai, you have to be weird in the whole world. Like, if you want to make it big, look at Elon Musk, look at anyone else, look at these big players. There's no work-life balance. No such thing as work-life balance. You're doing podcasts now, working now, it's nearly 9:30.
Yep.
Because we're hungry people. So if you're genuinely hungry, not for money, but for success, level up, you're gonna find it scary, but not as scary as someone who's hungry for money.
Tell me the difference between success and money. Because you've got people on Instagram, they're in Dubai, flashy life, right? You look at them, you think that's successful, but is it really successful?
Well, you can define success as how you want to define it, right? So for me, success is like a sense of achievement. So I've achieved, passing an exam, for example, right? So I'm like, okay, I've hit a certain milestone, right? It could be monetary, or it could be, having a number of people in your team that are on your payroll. So that's I wanted people on payroll, which I'm changing their lives and their kids' lives through my salaries that I'm paying. Yeah. Right? That is a sense of achievement. That's my part of my success. That's what I wanted to do. Second was I wanted to build out systems and processes which help my clients have a comfortable stay or a comfortable customer journey because of me. That's my success. And the result of that was living in Dubai, having a nice supercar, having a nice house. I literally walk down every morning to the beach. It takes me 30 seconds, right? And that's what people dream of when living in England, right? That is a definition of a monetary result or a success that is temporary. It's like it feels good at that time, but then when you come back, it's like, hey, I need to work hard for my employees. I want to create a better business, improve business. That's where I really get the satisfaction, not from the beach. It's good for Instagram. It's fun for 2 days, but then I get bored. So if that made sense to people, it's like the success is very personal of how you define it. Because I don't think you can define it with supercars and houses, because I've got them and it's good, but mine's parked in a garage.
The funny thing, that's because you're here.
But I don't drive.
Yeah. Otherwise, you always see stories driving around, blasting around everywhere. And that's a different story. I forgot what I was going to ask you now.
But let me finish on that. Like that's the point. So there's success is more deeper than just the monetary. Like I would say it's a trophy. The car is it's my prize.
Of course.
And it just sits there. I look at it. I'm like, hey, it's a reminder.
You earned it. Yeah, of course.
So the answer to your question is yes, flashy life is good, but deep down, if you really are a true entrepreneur and a true businessman, and you worked long enough, you'll realize that it's the business, it's the depth in the business, which is the true success.
No, definitely. That's 100% right. But was at any point money your sole objective?
Money is very important. Money is probably one of the most important things in the world. There's fucking people lying to you or me if they say, I'm not here for money. Of course I am, right? But money is it's an outcome, right?
It's an outcome, but what my question is, did you ever think that I just want the money? I don't really give a shit about it.
No, so if I'm being honest, yes, I wanted the rewards of the money, right? I wanted access to the money, so it gives me freedom. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I wanted the money, like, hey, I've got enough money so I can buy a plane ticket to go to LA tomorrow. A first class ticket, right? That's how I look at it, right? So I want the money because I have access to time and freedom because of money.
I'm going to stop you there, because recently on your story, you took your mom on her first class journey. Yeah. Tell me about that experience. That's personal.
That was personal,
Tell me about that.
That's related to actually how I was saying, like the depth inside success is like personal. We wanted something that we could never have. Now I've got it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you watched in movies, like flying private jet or first class. Oh, I want experiences. So it's all about experiences. So my mom always been queuing up, getting an economy with 600 people on an A380. I said, Mom, we're going to get on the same A380, but you don't have to queue up. There's only 8 or 10 seats in first class. So you don't have to queue up. It's going to be much quicker. She couldn't believe it. So it's an experience of comfort.
So right? How did she feel about the whole experience? That's what I want to know. Because I looked at that. I didn't want to message you about it because it's a different thing. I thought one day I'll ask him. But it's nice.
Yeah, she felt really. I think she didn't know what to say. She just said thank you. She said, it's a big jump, man. It's I'm saying this humbly as possible, being humble as possible, right? Yeah. Economy to first class is a huge jump.
Huge. You missed out business and premium plus. Economy plus, is it? Or
No, premium.
plus, yeah, that's it.
Sorry, so no, business is a huge jump as well. Sorry, they're both very similar.
Of
But
course.
as in, like, when you spend time traveling on like EasyJet and stuff, right? Emirates is good, but it's like the comfort. You don't have to queue. You have your own security. You go through, like, you don't have to queue up and put your bag with people can't even get the toilet. Like, you know, they make stupid mistakes. You're like, bro, your first time traveling, and this sounds really.
After the aisle seat was right.
No, it's just. I'm saying this with respect. It's like when you feel that comfort.
Yeah.
If you travel so much, and and they don't believe that it's possible. She doesn't believe it was ever possible to do that, and I helped her feel that comfort.
No, that's amazing. You know, honestly, I really felt happy for you.
Thank you.
You know, I was thinking, you know what? I know this guy. I know where he's from, and you know what? To give back to your parents. I mean, it's nothing in terms of what they've done for us.
100%.
But just to have the ability to take your parents on the first class, it's just priceless.
It's priceless.
And how did you feel?
I felt like I made it. I think that's when I felt like I made it, because it was a better feeling than buying the actual car, because I was like, oh, because she didn't believe in it, you know, she was like, it's never possible, it's too expensive, we can't do it. But when you, as I said, in business world, when you educate yourself, you understand the world, you understand how money works, everything is possible, you know, as long as you work hard. So that gave me such a great feeling where I'm like, hey, this is a better feeling than buying the supercar from the supercar
Just to
showroom.
see the happiness,
feelings,
on
emotions.
your-
We're
on
humans,
your
right?
space.
Humans,
Yeah.
emotions are more powerful than a piece of metal with 700 brake horsepower.
until you put your foot down. And then you hear those 700 horses start going mental. You think, yes. Anyways, moving on, scaling and mentoring. Obviously, you've started your mentorships, and
Yeah.
you know I've been following that stuff as well. Which, you know, mashallah, you're doing great. You've got a good team coming along. At what stage should someone transition from owning one or two properties to scaling into a larger portfolio?
First question you gotta ask yourself is like, do I want to do this? Do I want to run a full-blown business? Right? It's not just about 2 properties, 10 for vanity. It's not like I have 10 properties. You want to do it if you want to run a full-blown business. It's not for everyone. I don't want to put people off. I coach a lot of people. I mentor a lot of students, younger, same age, older, that do same business, the property management, Airbnb, real estate. If you're not in it as a business, because there's going to be some hard times, but the rewards are already big, there's no point thinking about scaling. But if you are, you're ready as long as you have the education.
And what are the common mistakes that new investors make when trying to scale a business?
Not having processes and systems in place.
And
So
how
if you-
important is that?
It's 101% important. Like, you know, it's 150% important. But if you don't have processes, if you can't clean the property the same way every single time a guest checks out and is in the same position, you have the same amount of plates and same amount of spoons and same amount of pillows in the right place, it's not scalable, because the customer experiences this once and the customer experiences
That
position
was-
B next time. That's not scalable. The customer's not gonna, same as again the restaurant business. You make the chicken exactly the same. You don't make it different. Otherwise, I won't come and eat the same pepes, right?
Yeah.
So processes, systems. Going back to the McDonald story. So yeah, that's why it's so important. Like anyone again listening to this, right? If you're gonna scale even more than one property, even your first property. Most guys join my mentorship even on their first property, because get your processes right from day one.
Yeah.
And systems. And that's not the only thing. The final thing I would say is mindset. Business acumen is very important. Mindset, resilience. You need to build yourself up slowly. Like, put yourself in environments. Even watching reels on Instagram is like, watch fucking positive shit. Like, business is hard. Watch real stuff. Business is this. What happens in everyday business. Watch my stories on my Instagram, my reels. What do I do? So that way you condition yourself to understanding this is how people are in business. People win, people lose, people go through slow times, down times. Today I didn't have the greatest day, and people should know about that, and people should understand that is part of your journey.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it excitement as well.
Of course. If it's a straight line, then you don't know how it would feel if you're coming back up or going down.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And now, as a mentor, right? You're a mentor now. How important is mentorship in the property business, and how has it shaped your journey?
So I have a lot of mentors around me, paid or unpaid. Many very famous mentors now from America. I sit with in masterminds. I was with Alex Hormozi. If people know, a lot of people know Alex Hormozi, Daniel G. I'm sitting on tables with them. I'm having, Daniel, I was having dinner with him, having great conversation. One single point about business can change your business life. One piece of advice can change because they're 10 steps ahead of you, or 5 steps ahead of you. So anyone, even 2 steps ahead of you, and you can be around them, will change your game much faster than you trying to do it yourself.
Mm. Give me one example of something they must have kind of given you a pointer towards that you thought, okay, you know what, I can use that in mine.
Yeah, but the best one was when I wasn't hiring the right people. So one of the mentors said, look, get your profits, invest in hiring 2 really good managers. And the mindset, the block was so big for me that I'm not spending this much money on this because I can do it, which I could. But then I wanted the financial time freedom as well. And then I was, doing half of it, not doing half of it. And then people were complaining. And then I'm like, okay, business is running good. I have good processes, but it didn't fail. So that little change has made a big difference. It makes me more money.
That's brilliant. So what advice would you give to somebody who wants to start in the property business, but has a very limited capital?
Mm-hmm. So 2 things, educate yourselves on just, start going on. This is such basic knowledge no one talks about. On Instagram, if you want to be in Airbnb, for example, or sales, start searching sales and Airbnb stuff. Just the way you search for, I don't know, funny stuff like comedians. Just
waste of time stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Once you start doing that, your algorithm will start showing you loads of reels and loads of stuff which is related to what you want to do, right? If you want to do e-com, it will start showing that. Same on YouTube. Your whole algorithm, your ads will start showing you that. So that's the first step, which is free because you don't have much capital, right? Second thing is find mentors. Not just me, there's loads of them. Like we do like a subscription-based service, which is like $50 a month. I jump on a call. I get you in that. I teach you stuff. I go through subject matters. So I'm different subject matters, and then I also, do Q&A. It's very not capital and heavy.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And there's free education on YouTube. Follow people on YouTube who do property, who do sales, or who do Airbnb. There's so many in every industry. For specifically property, there's many that you can just follow for free and just learn. Once you have the basic knowledge, and then start doing things. Take action. Once you've taken action and you have something under your belt, and say you have one property, or you've gone out, spoken to developers, landlords, or done your first refurbishment, or whatever property sector you're in, learn how to raise finance, learn how to raise private investment, and do JVs, joint ventures with people. So if you do that way you can scale, and that's how you bring money in to scale your business. Once you build, so you build in knowledge, bring someone in with money, and work together with them to grow.
Right. Okay. So so for example, when you say bring investors, right? Now, would you put your money in as well, or you are the person who has this plan?
So I'm the person with the knowledge.
Right.
So you have your you have a triangle, right? So you have you have expertise, the knowledge, and the money, the cash, right? So if someone has knowledge and expertise, you can bring in the cash and they will do all the work. That's how, in theory, this is how it works. Of course, you got to make sure you do your due diligence. I'm not saying just raise finance and just give it to anyone who started yesterday, but you got to build trust and credibility as an individual, so people are willing to invest. So I raise a lot of finance. We raised over £2 million of finance in the last couple of years, right? Why? Because I have people have trust with me and credibility. Of course, we have legal agreements where people will fund my growth of the business, fund my next 50 apartments, right? And then I will give them a piece of return from the profit or from the return of the profits we get, basically.
So what if that doesn't happen?
Everything has a risk, right? But that's where you do your due diligence, right? Yeah. So, the people who gave me 2 million, they didn't think that wasn't going to happen, because you do a calculated risk. So yeah. I'll show them numbers. I'll show them this is what it will produce and this is how we will do it. So if you're a newbie, you have one property, and look, I've done it on very small properties. I needed to raise finance for furnishing 3 apartments, which was like 10 grand, right? 12 grand, long time ago. I went, sat down, put down all the numbers. This is how much we're going to rent the place for. So we do like rent to rent. So to rent the place for, this is how much it's going to cost to furnish, and this is how much we're going to make. And then someone will ask you, how do you know you're going to make this? Then you look at comparables around the area, around the next door neighbor. Then if you've already done one property, you say, look, I've already done this. I know how to manage a property. I have a cleaning team. I have, outsourced linen. I have, a system, the revenue management. You show all of this, you'll build confidence and trust and credibility with your investor. Of course, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But this is what I teach on my mentorship, what you need to do to be able to. If I was sitting with you now, I'd be like, okay, I'm looking for £50,000. This is what we're going to do with your £50,000. This is how we're going to do it. It's an investment pack I'll show you, and this is how much you will make back. And I'll show you how you're going to make it back. I'll show you the experience and I'll show you the risk as well. It's not 100% guaranteed, otherwise everyone will do it.
Of course, yeah.
But the returns are pretty good, Some of my investors are making anywhere from 12 to 15% on average per year. So
that's fantastic. That's really, really good.
Yeah, it is. Better than a bank.
So future of property and investment, how do you see the property market evolving in the next 5 to 10 years in Dubai and in the UK?
So let's start with UK. I think UK market is going to be very stable, even with a lot of tax changes. It's not going to grow so much. I don't think so. But there's always going to be demand in the UK. So, I'm going to continue to expand my businesses in UK, while my bigger businesses are going to be Dubai. Dubai market is where my 100% trust is, just due to where the world, where with all the wars and everything that's happening politically, the political shift is moving a lot of money from the west to the east, right, to the Middle East. So I think looking at the data, and it's not just me, it's like BlackRock is moving their offices, opening offices in Abu Dhabi. You look at all the big funds and the family offices, they're going to, Dubai. A lot of money is moving for a reason, right? There's a lot of security there for your fund investments and for your family and for your businesses. And there's a lot of customer demand. So because of that, the real estate market is going to obviously prop up very quickly, because real estate is one thing that everyone needs. So compared that to UK, what I just said is very different. So Dubai is here for me, UK is here. UK is very stable. It's not going anywhere. I'm very positive about it, but Dubai is 10x of where UK is, and I'm going to continue to invest my money. And my personal investments are only being in Dubai right now.
Have you thought of anything else other than property or any other investments?
Yeah, so I don't talk much about it, but I'm an investor in other things. So I invest in startups with some friends, and I do a lot of things, not just property. So
okay.
Once you start growing out, I've lost, you lose some money, you win some, but I'll invest in a few things. I've started startups and stuff. So yeah, that's my goal.
To become...
be able to invest in different streams and
dragon of
hopefully.
Dubai.
Hopefully.
We're going to see him on Dragon Dubai soon. If you had to start today, what would you do differently?
I think it goes back to the same point. I will get a bit more educated and not try to do things myself. I think I tried to do a lot of things alone. I was a lone soldier for a very long time. I used to, I've learnt a lot. I used to get my hands dirty, unpack the furniture myself. If you look at some of my first properties, I did everything, painting the walls, everything, making it nice. I think I wasted a lot of time doing that. However, now I know when I send the workers into the place, I know exactly what they're talking about. So there are pros and cons. But
don't you think at the time when you're doing everything yourself, your finances are, of course, you don't have unlimited finances.
Of course.
Who wouldn't?
Of course, yeah.
You just send someone in and crack on with it because you've got the unlimited finance.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I think I would educate myself more so I know some things I didn't know before. Like now, trying to go to the next level, I'm putting a lot of effort to be around people. I just mentioned Alex Hormozi. If people don't know Alex Hormozi, please go Google him. He's one of the biggest successful sales. He's making millions, right? And he sold his business for I think 200 million or something. He started a gym business.
Wow.
A lot of money he's making. So I was with him for 2 days in Las Vegas, right? So I wanna learn from these people now. How are they making $250 million, $500 million? How are they doing all of this? So that's the next So I'm
That's
trying
the
to put
next
myself in this room. Yeah. So if you're starting with one property or one business or small startup, go for someone a couple of levels ahead of you before you go to the celebrity level.
And my last question for you today is, what's one golden piece of advice you would give anyone listening who wants to succeed in property?
Network. I think there's so many pieces of advice I can give you. Network as much as you can. Touch as many hands as you can. Rub as many shoulders as you can. You're gonna have a better chance of being successful. If anything, you're going to be more educated because you're going to learn more. So one of my things I did, which I don't do as much, every week I used to go to a networking event in Birmingham for 3 years, or 2 years actually. I forget about this now, but this is like this. If you go on, there's a PIN, I think, Property Investment Network. A guy called Saj Hussain. I don't know if you heard of him. I used to go to his every Tuesday. Still does them, right? And if you go there now, there's a lot of newbies, a lot of mid-level. I just don't go because I'm trying to go to a different level. But do those things, and those were my stepping stones to knowing the right people, building my social brand. Personal brand is very important now. Mm-hmm. Very important. Get on podcasts, start a podcast, you'll meet other people.
Mate, I'm telling you, the amount of people that we've met over 2 years now, some incredible people. Yeah. And it's just like free information. After this, you sit on a dinner table, you feed them, you give them drinks and everything is just on the table for you. Yeah. And I always say, the conversations that happen on the mic are different, but the conversation that you have over a dinner table are priceless. They're totally different. Yeah. And you can't put a price onto them because they give you some 100%. Serious...
But what I would say, what I've said today is, this is how I talk on a dinner table. I'm very transparent. I don't hide anything. Hence, I've been here for 9 years plus. Yeah. 5 years, 4 years. You've known me since COVID. That's, again, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but that's a sign of his own success. And I should take credit for that. Sustaining is harder than starting. Always remember that.
Always, definitely. 6-pack is always harder to keep than trying to get one. You can get it, no problem, as you can see. But sustaining it, it's a different
So, I'm trying to keep everything. My next goals are to end this podcast, I would say, I want to really continue keeping my values, integrity, as a human, as a man, and really take it to the next level using that. Because I believe in that. I think if I got here without fucking anyone over, without stealing or without doing anyone over, scamming, I think I can go 10x if I do more, with my eyes open. One thing I say, trust with my eyes open, which I didn't do before. I used to trust with my eyes closed, but you trust with your eyes open now. So expand that 10x and really give back, and then you get tenfold back.
No, it's nice what you're doing is because I was talking to someone the other day, and what our people do, especially in the South Asian community, they become very successful, like yourself, and they kind of hide behind their whole humbleness. But what that does is it doesn't inspire the next generation. Mm-hmm. So you got to have some kind of element of your success on the social media for the younger generation to kind of see and pick up, and they want to be like you.
100%.
And it's nothing about bragging that, you've got a supercar. Yeah, you worked for it. Fair enough. You deserve it, And if somebody who's watching, puts the same hard work in, 10, 15 years of dedicated work, of course you can buy a house in Dubai and apartments and a supercar. So you're just inspiring. The way I see it, you are inspiring people rather than showing off.
100%. I'm very confident about it as well. I will publicly say, I worked hard for that car, worked hard for my lifestyle. It's a lifestyle hard to maintain if you don't keep working. But I'm very proud of it. If someone doesn't like it, it's not my cup of tea. It's not,
No, that's the only person who's losing out is them.
Yeah.
Right, no one else.
100%.
They could easily reach out to you and ask you for help.
Yeah.
So, but on that note, Adam, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure.
People listening at home have picked up some good insights, because I have, and I'm definitely going to go and see his car in Dubai. That's the one for sure.
Thank you very much.
Adam, thank you very much, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.